Well, hello, a very good afternoon and welcome here to Guadalajara. We're here, of course, for the CSI 4-Star. It's a show that's going to have so many great competitions over the next few days, taking in not only the Longines FEI World Cup Series, but also the young riders as well. But here this afternoon, we're really focused on this 1 meter 50 competition. Jackie McFarland sitting alongside me. Jackie, what do you make of the field here at Guadalajara?
I think it's going to be a great class. We have 38 entries to over the Olaf Peterson Jr. course, and we walked, and it was quite a nice track.
Yeah, and having a look at some of the riders here as well, you know, there's a few Mexican riders that mainly compete in Mexico, but a lot of them are actually being out and about on the world stage, riding at venues such as Spruce Meadows and, of course, all over the West Coast as we look ahead to Omaha, Nebraska, and that's just a few months away. But the final preparations underway then, and we'll be getting started at 1 p.m. local time here this afternoon. And just again, having a look through that start list, we've got Nicolas Pizarro coming forward, Patricio Pascual, Rodrigo Lambre, Federico Fernandez, so many great names in there. Have you got any ones you think we should keep an eye on, Jackie?
I think that Azcárraga is always a contender. I also think that Chaudhry has done quite well in previous years, as well as on the GCT when it was here in Mexico City.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great competition. And of course, just having a look at the rules and how this one works here this afternoon. It is a jump-off competition, so all our athletes will come forward here in the first round. Any tie for first place, that'll take us to a single jump-off against the clock, where time will break all ties. But it is a strong field, and we do have a total here of 38 combinations coming forward in the first round. Our course designer, Olaf Peterson Jr., of course, from Germany. He's been literally all over the world building and being technical delegates at championship level events. So great to have him here with us, and we'll find out what he's got in store as the first one comes forward in just a few moments' time. Jackie, you've been here to Mexico before. Mexico City, I think, was the last show you were at. How does Guadalajara compare?
Actually, I quite like Guadalajara personally. It's quite nice here at the country club, and the weather is, I would say, ideal, and the setting here is intimate, and everyone is very relaxed, which is a nice setting.
Yeah, I just arrived in last night, so not had much of a chance to have a look around, but I think after today we'll definitely have a chance to do that. So having a quick look at the track then here in the first round. It is made up of a total of 12 obstacles, 15 jumping efforts, and having a look at the length, it's 444 metres and a time allowed set at 71 seconds. Of course, we're under international rules here. The speed of the competition, 375 meters per minute, so that's the speed they're going to have to consistently travel at if they want to get home within that time allowed. But I can see our athletes out in the warm-up there, just starting to make their final preparations. Got the 3 fences, there's room enough for that out there in the warm-up.
Yeah, it's quite a large ring actually. Most of the lines walked beyond where I usually count.
And of course, so many other great facilities here as well. They've just built a whole hospitality area, and that's pretty much full to capacity here this afternoon. There's lots of other little bars and social areas, but we are in the middle of a country club. There's a golf course, there's football pitches behind us, so lots of facilities to enjoy here at the CSIW Guadalajara. And we can see just our first to go making his preparations. He'll be coming forward in literally just 1 minute time. It is going to be Fabian Sihanas who gets us underway here, but as we mentioned before, so many great names to come forward here. What did you think of the track when you had a look then? Do you think it's going to be a tough one here?
Yes, I walked quite a bit of where I wonder what they're going to do according to how either the horse rides or how they choose. It's a long track, and so I think that there are several challenges that I'm interested to see how it comes through, and then as we go forward, I'll note where I thought I would have ridden it, but how maybe they chose to do the same or different.
Is there any fences or lines in particular where you think that's going to sort of cause an issue?
I think the last line with the combination that seemed to walk a bit tight, but then to the final oxer was a bit long. So I'm curious to see at that point in the course also how the horses will be riding there, and of course it's going away from the gate.
Well, it's coming up to 1 o'clock. We're going to be having the first one coming forward, and of course this is just one of the many competitions that's going on here over the weekend. Tell us a bit about the Young Rider Series that's happening here.
Yes, the Children's International Classics Final. It's quite an exciting event that is really great for the kids. It's 12 to 14 years old, and they've come from 13 different countries here to Mexico, and the horses are all provided by the Mexican team, and then they draw for a horse and ride the courses, and yesterday they had their speed round and they did quite well. It was a very good class, so it's very exciting to see that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's great for the young riders as well to get to see the very kind of top level of the sport. And that's what we're going to experience here this afternoon as we get underway. We say the best of luck to each and every one of them, and we start in Argentina. Fabian Cianis coming forward with Candela. Candela's, I think, as a horse we've actually seen Patricio Pascual ride in the past. It's the 12-year-old by Cornet Oblinsky,
which is one of the top 4 producing stallions in the show jumping world.
So we'll have a quick look round this track here. Starts over that very delicate upright, as you can see, just give it a little tap on the way in, then it's right-handed down the dog leg. That's to the oxer at fence number 2. And then we are going to be bending back round as we come to the first set of the signature Longines fences on track, round to the oxer at fence number 4. Looking towards that left-handed turn now as we curve around towards the AUDI fence, the upright. You see that AUDI filler sitting underneath. And then it's round towards the treble bar. You can see him just taking a little bit of an economic line there, just keeping that time allowed in the back of his mind. I counted 5 strides down there, and then 1 going through the upright, the oxer, and then the upright coming out as well at the end there, the combination. Straight on down the related distance, the oxer at 8, and then we look for that roll back as we come round towards this orange line. It's upright to upright, the related distance from 9 down to 10. And then we come down towards this final line, and this is the one, Jackie, you thought might just catch a few out.
This horse is jumping easily. Oh.
Ah, the last comes down. We have to have a look at the time as well.
Yes.
75.22. 71 seconds time allowed. I have to say, though, he did look a little bit steady. When we look at our course plan, the speed 375 metres a minute. Don't think he was quite travelling at that. But we'll wait and see what happens.
With 2 time for Sterling 6 and a time of 75.22, the results for Fabian Cianis and Candela.
So apart from that last fence coming down, really nice round to get us underway.
Now we welcome the second
But then we go to Luis Alejandro Plasencia, and this is the first of the athletes we're going to see here this afternoon that really does compete on the world stage and does a lot of travelling. Representing Mexico here, though it is, Shad Dolan, the 10-year-old gelding by Chaco Blue. They're the Oldenburg horses, and he's been having some great success in the recent months.
Here in Mexico, yes.
He's got a great string of horses as well. I think probably the one he's maybe known best for at the moment would be Salamila Gilanotria.
Mexico has begun hosting a lot more FEI events, and so it's showing, and the riders are achieving results here in Mexico in CSI events.
Always a shame to have a rail early on. Do you think he just got a little bit deep in there?
He did get deep.
See it just kind of pulling on a little bit, and he's having to say, just steady.
He covers a lot of distance, and he has a lot of bridle on him.
You see it just kind of running downhill there. I noticed as well when we walk this, you kind of in the bright sunshine down the combination, and then you come right into the shade as we push down towards that brown oxide. Do you think that would have an impact?
Yes, I do. Subtle, but it does change the light that you're both for horse and rider, and the line he's coming to is also completely in the shade.
I think after he had that stop on track, it seemed to just reorganize things, and
He wasn't.
he had a nice finish.
Heavy, but he wants to pull, and he's still pulling.
Let me at them, let me at them. In the end, it's 92-13, a total of 22 faults there for Luis Alejandro, Plasencia and Shadolan. And of course, that doesn't help our jury either, who might just be having a look at the time because of what happened with our first to go. But they're going to have to wait, and they're going to have to watch this one. Felipe Gariano comes forward next with the 10-year-old gelding by Lordanos, Lorraine van Lordanos. It's an Oldenburg horse, and it's one that he's been competing on the national, and a few international competitions as well here in Mexico over the last couple of years. Lordanos, such a great stallion, produced some really, really nice young horses. This one's starting off a little bit tappy, tapped at the first, tapped at the second. If you're on track with a horse and it is being a little bit tappy on the way around, what sort of things can you do as you're cantering round to try and stop that?
Well, you hope that when it does start to tap, that is something that makes them more careful as they go on, and it seems to be working. He isn't tapping at this point. There's, between the horse and rider, there's several things that he could do, but
well, having a look at that time, it's going to be quite close. And
there's that line coming down again.
And we are just a touch over. It is 72.35, so 4 for jumping with the one rail coming down, 1 for time, so 5 faults in total.
This horse is Nayel Nassar has a horse by the same stallion. They have a very quality jump.
Yeah, really nice one, and unfortunate today, but of course, as well as the $35,000 in offer today, they're also looking to qualify through to Saturday, because it is only 30 that can start in that one, and they've got to whittle it down somehow. Alejandro Mills coming next with Bartender, the 11-year-old stallion. Great lines on this one, Cardento and Contender involves. For those that came to the Longines Global Champions Tour in Mexico last year, you might remember this horse finished second in the 145, and you were here as well, Jackie, and I think this one had a good finish yesterday.
Yes, it did. It was third in the Welcome Cup yesterday, which
really handy to have that kind of initial day as well, if the horses aren't used to this ring or whatever, just to settle them in. Such a scopy jump.
Yes, a big jump.
The only downside to that is if the time allowed is a little bit tight and they do leave it at 71 and it is wasting a bit of time in the air.
He's trying to be a little more efficient in the track, it seems, than the earlier riders. Quite like this horse's jump.
Time looks absolutely fine for him. Jumps nicely over that final
Our first
oxer.
clean round.
And
yes.
there's our first clear. 69-29 and clear all the way for Alejandro Mills and Bartender.
I like that horse's name.
Really, really nice. Just goes to show as well, that's why the jury have got 3. You know, they can watch 3 without any major deviations before they have to think about changing that time, and he made that look quite easy, really.
It's all about the track.
We go to Antonio Chedraui now with the 14-year-old mare by Berggraf, J.K. Horse Truck's Wish. Not a horse I've seen before this one.
No, I don't know this one either. We're wondering about it.
I think they have been already out in the sort of 2-star ranks here in Mexico together.
I believe this is the son of Antonio.
Yes, I think you're right, yeah. I think just coming slightly long through there. Must be great for these young riders, though, to have, you know, the Longines FEI World Cup coming to Mexico. It's the second year it's been here. But, I mean, Mexico have got some really talented athletes.
And like I was saying earlier, that they have so many more CSIs. I believe they have 17 events now in Mexico. And it's really great, not only for the sport, but for these riders to have that level of competition here.
Absolutely. Well, we saw the centre part of the combination come down, so of course that gives us 4 faults, 69.91. So again, well inside that time allowed. It does slip into second at the moment. We've seen 5 combinations go so far, and we've got 1 clear. Came with Alejandro Mills just a minute or 2 ago with Bartender, and he was clear 69.29. Still a lot of talent to come if you have just joined us. It is a $35,000 Longines FEI World Cup qualifier. It's the qualifier to get into the qualifier, really. And there's a total of 38 combinations. And this is Manuel Gonzalez who comes next. He's on this one. It's the 10-year-old mare by Harland, Hortensia van de Luwak, I think.
Nicely said.
Regularly competes throughout Mexico and of course up to World Cup level. No stranger to competitions like this one.
It does seem, I will say, that the track is riding quite well. It's not as if there's any particularly difficult questions asked. However, it's challenging to stay within the time allowed, and then I think the last line is the most technically challenging line. But the horses and riders are handling the questions asked quite well so far, but the time allowed is, there's that line again. Going to be a factor here as well.
Yeah, 71 seconds, as you know, the time allowed. That's set, that won't change. It is 73.15, and with the back bar off the oxer coming into that final line coming down, the total is 5 faults there from Manuel Gonzalez. Must be so frustrating. It's frustrating to have a pole down anywhere on course, but to come all the way around to the final line and have that rail down, such a shame. Nicolas Bezzaro coming forward next then. Temascal Tepek. It's the 10-year-old mare by Balabut du Roe. Nicolas, one of the athletes that we see all over North America, up in Canada, and over to Europe as well. He's based in Mexico City. Actually at the base where his grandmother set up a breeding facility, but he's now taken it over, and he's really producing some great top-level jumpers.
This is kind of a hot, springy little mare.
I think he likes them like that. He's been part of this sport for so many years. He started riding at the age of 5 and then started jumping professionally. Well, not professionally, but kind of professionally at the age of 12. Competitively is maybe a better word.
Oh, she jumped that well, considering she was disunited on her way there.
He's got a law degree as well. Useless
Does
fact
he?
for you. Yeah. Bet you never knew that.
I did not. I wonder how often he uses that knowledge.
Not often, probably. Well, I don't know with horses. Might come in handy.
That's what my dad always said. He wanted me to go to law school because it was a power of knowledge. Oh!
Final line again.
Law school does not help.
No, 69.49. And it is just the 4 faults. That final Oxer front bar comes down. When I walked out, it did seem a little long down there.
But see, you can't really, if you ride the length in the combination, then you're going to have a rail in the combination because it's tight. So you really have to get the job done after the combination. Now that said, if you can ride your horse up to that vertical coming out and they'll jump around it, then that's
not
probably
the easiest
the way
line
to go. No, it's a tough line.
Francisco Pascual next then. Naranjo, part of the Winning Nations Cup team in Langley last June, this combination. Naranjo by Robin II Z. And of course, another of the athletes here who represents Mexico.
Yes, and Francisco is responsible for bringing this show, as well as part of the team bringing the GCT to Mexico City. He's very active in show management here in Mexico and upping the game here.
He'll have a lot of knowledge because he does travel around North America and again up to Canada and various other places. And is it his brother that's coming next, or his dad?
Yes, his brother. 3 of the brothers ride.
What's the other brother's name?
Good question. If I see it, I would tell you, but
Okay.
I knew you were going to ask me that when I said that.
Really nice round so far. He's travelling forward as well, so I don't think the time's going to be an issue with this one. Again, we're just staying on that one clear at the moment. Alejandro Mills. Nicolas Bezzaro, who we just saw, sits in second at the moment, is our fastest to the 4 falters.
Easy.
Ah.
I saw that coming.
And the last as well.
Oh my goodness, see?
And he's over the time. So it's 8 for jumping, 1 for time, 71.97 there. Total result for Francisco Pascual and Naranjo.
I think that last line is particularly difficult in that everything else rides pretty well. It's not, doesn't test you within that short frame of the one line away from the gate after everything else is ridden quite well, and you haven't necessarily had to adjust a whole lot, and then you come to the most challenging line of the course.
I think as well that kind of news travels quite quickly backstage, and perhaps some of the riders start to think about that line more than they would have as well.
Patricio's son was in the children's international classics yesterday, the final first round. I believe he was third.
What's his name?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Patricio Pascual comes next.
Okay, I'm researching.
Get Googling, get Googling. This is the 10-year-old Babel. He's also got Candela, Caress. Got a real nice string on the go at the moment. The last few months he's been in Mexico mainly, but over the summertime we saw him at Spruce Meadows, at Langley. Of course, everyone thinking about those valuable points to end up at Omaha.
And his son carries the same name, by the way.
Okay. Did you just remember? Did you? It just came to you.
I was clued in.
Of course, it is a jump-off competition we're watching here this afternoon, so we are looking for that second clear to take us to that jump-off. If we only had the one, then it only needs one round. Only if we have a quality will we head to that jump-off against the clock. But, you know, with so much talent still to come, I think we're going to get 5 or 6.
Yeah, my guess is about the same, I'd say.
It's all about this final line.
Just like I predicted.
You jinxed it.
No, you asked me.
Time's tight.
Oh, there we go.
He's over.
Oh,
71.96. Travelling at 375 metres per minute. They can't afford to take a pull, and sadly he is over. But he goes into second, and they will be thinking about doing enough to get forward into Saturday's big one. Plenty more still to see. We can see that's a real scopy jump as it comes down over that orange line. Just not his day. Arturo Navarro coming next, and the 14-year-old stallion Cool Down. I think it is his first international competition. I'm pretty sure.
There's that touch you're asking about. See how that fares.
What's their national scene like? Do you know if they've got many national competitions in and around Mexico?
Yes, they do. They have quite a few, and they have quite a few nice facilities, including Jalapa, where they host the Nations Cup. It's known from the NARG Top 25 as one of the best facilities for footing in North America.
Right. This facility we're in, it held the Pan American Games, did it? No?
Don't know.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I'm pretty sure it did.
Worth researching.
Back on Google. Just getting a little bit long across that orange line in the middle. But given that, you know, he's not the most experienced internationally, I think that was a really
Quite a
nice
good
round.
ride.
And he rode that final line perfectly.
Beautifully.
It was really nice. So just finishes on the 4 for jumping. 68.30 the time, so well inside.
Yes.
And just
And
dropping
without
the
a
rail.
problem. It can be ridden without time faults.
Again, just having
This is
that
quite
orange.
catchy. Yeah, see, that may have been the shade. I mean, you jump from the shade to the sun, and he didn't look particularly tight there at that vertical, but it did come down in front.
As we could see on the screen there as well, I mean, those planks, they're on such flat cups, it doesn't take much. Really, really fragile. So we continue then to Miguel Maron. This is Brave Liberty, San Gabriel. It's a 12-year-old gelding, this one. It's by a stallion called Brigador. It's got Last Liberty on the dam side. Seems with Olaf's track here, he doesn't give them much time to kind of rebalance before they're having to think about that next fence as well.
Well, I think that's the thing about a ring that's this size. You have room to go around, but you really shouldn't. So you do need to carry forward, like you say, without taking too much time.
Well, we can see that center part of the combination coming down again. Again, nicely down the final line.
And rode very direct 8 to that combination that worked well for him.
75.59 and 6 there, 6 total for Miguel Maron and Brave Liberty.
I think what you need to do is, around these corners, you just can't be leisurely because you don't have any other time to make it up.
Plenty more still to see. We've jumped 12 combinations here so far. As you know, we've only got 1 clear. We've got 1 on 1 time fault and then 3 on 4 faults. That's how things look at this stage. Pablo Viziano coming next with the 13-year-old by Hamlet, ZZ Top.
Nina Vogel, who's been working with me, is quite a fan of this horse. Let's see if I agree.
Well, it's been going well, to be fair. It was third in the World Cup class at Valdebravo last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So she was wrong then.
Well.
To be fair, it has got a big scopy jump.
It does. It has a big jump. I think it just got right up underneath that second jump.
It's not affected any of the other horses, but just next to that jump on the left-hand side as they land, there's a huge big video board. I don't know, maybe if a couple of them have just caught it in their eye, but it's not a fence that's caused any major issues.
I have seen that cause issues in the past.
Definitely. So sitting on a total of 12 at the minute. It's time to pop in a circle, back round.
Couldn't tell why he chose to do that.
Looked like it was just getting a little bit long and he thought, I've already had 2 rails, I may as well just rebalance, reorganize.
There we go. The last 3 have read the last line quite well.
Let's have a look at his total scores, 85, 53 and 16 total. You often find that. You have kind of spates of certain lines or certain fences causing issues.
Now the triple combination seems to be causing some issues. But it's a sign of a good course when different jumps fall throughout the course.
This is a combination that's been together a while now. It's a 10-year-old mare, and I think this was the one who had a win in the Longines ranking class at Valdebravo last year. He's had numerous placings as well that we do know about throughout Mexico. He's back at number 25. It is Rodrigo Lambre for Brazil next. Shasamia, is it?
I don't know, would you say that?
Shakasiyama?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
It's one of those. It is by Shaco Blue though.
Very tidy there.
I think if you can make that up by the sort of halfway point, then you know you've got a little bit of time to play with if you need it. do you think 8 strides is the key as you come around towards this one, this sort of final
Well, that
level?
has worked. Let's see. He did more than 8. He did 9. That worked well for him.
But jumps it nicely. 69.01, so a jump off is guaranteed, and it's clear round for Rodrigo Lambre. And Shaka Samia.
Yeah. Has a lot of scope. She jumped that quite easily.
Let's just have a look. You see, just even over that upright, really flicks up behind.
Tenemos en la pista número 13 representando a México Arturo Parada montando a Tarzan. Dígame.
Well, we can see making his final preparations as Arturo Parada with a 10-year-old gelding by Canon Tarzan.
And researching this horse, we were surprised it is an Anglo-Arab, but
Really?
it is.
That's what Google says.
That's what the report says. Yes, we looked it up, and it was bred in France, so had a Celle Francais mother and a Dutch father, so I wasn't clear. But
No, it's not. It's 2 rails.
whew,
It's a horse he's been riding at 2-star level. That's Socrates.
jumped that great.
Really jumping now, other than that one.
Well, and
It's what?
it's doing something behind. I'm trying to identify. It's twisting a bit, yeah, and that it's had a couple down due to that,
Yeah, it kind of hollows a little bit in front of the fence.
and dives in a little bit to the right. See, it twists left and dives a little right.
Wouldn't make a hunter.
No, it does. I mean, it has a good jump. But
72.96, 12 for jumping and 1 for time. Again, he has been competing nicely at 2-star level and just kind of pushing up towards this level now with that one. Federico Fernandez in the wings and about to join us here with the RVL Douglas bred horse, 12-year-old Guru.
another veteran from Mexico. Done international competition for a number of years. Also very supportive of the sport.
Yeah, he's a great ambassador for American show jumping, for Mexican show jumping. Competed at 3 Olympic Games, I think. Pan American Games.
And World Championships. He is a veteran.
He's been around.
He has.
Got a really interesting bit on this one.
Let's see how it goes with that bit.
There was a time where you could, able to say, oh, it's in a snaffle or it's in a pelham. You can, there's no way that you
No.
can name the bits these days. Gotta sound old.
Well, if you notice, he's not pulling a lot. So,
I think that's the important thing as well. I mean, some horses you need a bigger bit on, but it's better to have a bigger bit and then have softer hands
yes.
than have a lesser bit and have to pull its head off.
Which the other one that had a similar bit earlier, the horse was resisting the bit quite a bit. This one seems to be just keeping him in check without a lot of fight. Stays good and balanced.
You said that, rail. I think time might just be a little bit of a factor. Just checking on the way in here.
See, he did the 9 too.
He's going to be over the time allowed. So has the rail down. It's 4 for jumping, 1 for time. 73, 37 and 5 there for Federico Fernandez. 2 clears we have, Alejandro Mills and Rodrigo Lambre. 1 for Mexico, 1 for Brazil. Then, of course, Patricio Pascual on 1-time fault and 3 on 4 to make up our top 6.
Invitamos a la pista. Pista Alejandro
What do you think? 5 clear, 6 clear?
Well, I was thinking 4 to 5. You said 5 to 6. I'm also thinking that some of the riders may just be riding to have a good round, and a rail is okay. Not feeling like they're going to push it today, because they'll qualify with a rail for Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is a rider who's certainly been building up his air miles. He's shown in Italy, in Spain, Canada, the US, and of course on home turf here in Mexico. It's Luis Alejandro Plasencia coming next. Salamia di Lana Tria.
This is also a French horse.
Yeah, it's an 11-year-old. Got some really good lines. Voltaire, Diamant de Semele.
He was on in earlier and was on the horse that was pulling quite a bit.
Ah, yeah, I remember.
That we were talking about, that the other bit was similar to the bit that Federico had. That was a nice jump.
Thinking about that first fence, it's one that I would think they would have come off the right rein, but a lot of them have been kind of looping back and coming off the left rein. Would that just depend on the horse?
Yes, well it does, but it's also interesting to make that choice, because you are going to bend right afterwards. So I would think that you would want to come off the right, but let's see, where it could be according to where the timers are set. That if you come off that left turn, you spend a little less time out of the approach, potentially.
I suppose that turn as well might just get them back on their hocks coming into the upright. It's going to be too tight on the time as well. So he finishes on 4 jumping, 1 for time, 74.04 there for Luis Alejandro Plasencia and Salamera de Lana Tria. Finishes on that 5 total. Goes down to 10th place here in the first round. $35,000 to play for, and of course, as we mentioned earlier, they're all looking ahead towards Saturday as well and earning their place to be in the Longines FEI World Cup jumping of Guadalajara. Gonzalo Azcárraga coming next. This is a 13-year-old stallion by Berlin. It's called Zalerno. This is another rider who really has been out and about, competing all over the place. Really experienced 13-year-old stallion, this one.
And this is quite a talented young rider whose father is also a solid rider.
What's his name?
His father's Jaime.
Jaime, yes.
Thank you, I knew that one.
I'm keeping score, don't worry.
I'm going to think of these names at some point. Uh-oh. He just jumped right at that.
Yeah, his dad had a great win at Spruce Meadows, in fact. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, but they're such nice people as well, this family.
Very nice, and his dad has brought along several horses and done well with them.
It's getting a little bit long through that final line into the double. And the last comes down as well, so 12 in total. 69.86 is the time for Gonzalo Azcárraga. Just not hesitating. We'll have to wait and see now whether that's good enough to get through. Francisco Lamolin standing by then. Donagraff, winner I think, actually back on Wednesday here, the Grand Opening Cup. Francisco Lamolin.
Yes, was not this horse. Did they win this on this horse? No,
No, I think it was a different
it was
horse.
a different horse. Yes, and that was quite a large class. 100 riders competed in that power and speed class yesterday. So you had to be fast to win.
It's great that they've got such good entries at this show. I think it's the second year it's run here as a World Cup
No,
show.
well, yes, the second year for this event, but last year it was in Valle de Bravo, and this year it's in Guadalajara, with the potential of moving back to Valle next year. Although, like I said, I quite like Guadalajara. Not that I didn't like Valle, but it seemed to really, when that jump comes down, it really
Yeah, it does.
comes down.
It comes down with
It
a
does
bang.
does not come down lightly.
It's a lovely country, though. I flew in yesterday, and I came via Cancun, and it was so tempting just to hang around there for a day.
I've done that. Matter of fact, there's an island off of there called Islas de Mujeres that the last vacation I took
All right, okay.
with my husband was there, and it was very nice.
Would you recommend it?
I would.
Okay.
You can golf cart around the entire island. It's that small. You take a ferry over from Cancun. It was a really nice trip.
Well, looking at Francisco Lamolin's ride, it's 10 faults total, 77.70 there, staying on those two clears at this stage. A lot of great representatives for Mexico. This one's Jose Antonio Chedraui,
Coming back.
back with another of his rides. Aristoteles by Doctro Voltaire lines, really bred to jump this one.
Ooh, lovely. Quite a lot of scope. I have to look more closely, but I would say that he might have a snaffle.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think you're right. He gets an egg butt snaffle.
Yes. Now there might be something inside, a little twist of something, or
Can't
be
just
a-
be a normal snaffle.
maybe a Dr. Bristol or something.
Oh,
Oh no.
well, that was a shame. It really was. So finishes on the 4 then, 70.73 the time, and just 4 jumping faults here in this first round. It's a
Right,
nice
within the
horse.
time allowed. Yes, lovely horse. Lovely horse.
Yeah, I'd be frustrated with that, but I think that'll be good enough, you know, to get him through into Saturday.
When I really like the horse, I write, buy this one next
Buy
to it.
this one. That's the code.
I want to buy this one in bartender so far.
Okay. We'll check in and see how that list progresses. Alberto Sanchez Cozar next in with Union Gilana Tria. Certainly no stranger to success, just back in October. Had a great one at 150 level last year. He's got
Another
some
French
great
horse.
horses.
Whew. Took a lot of time to that jump. Let's see how that goes for him.
You just have to take a little check there and say, come on, pay attention.
I think a little bit from 1 to 2 is where you should be a bit more direct as opposed to taking your time, because and here you should be efficient. I think that's where there's some time losses from 1 to 2 into this riding to that triple bar.
Yeah, you've got a bit of space, haven't you, between 1 and 2 where you can push
Yes.
on and maybe hang to the right a little bit.
There as well to that vertical line, you can be efficient.
Oh, he's going to be over the time.
My. Just over.
73 seconds. So a
Not
couple
even
of
just
seconds.
over, actually.
Couple of seconds over.
And if he had ridden 1 to 2 with, you know, more efficiently, I think that may have worked out.
Might have saved him. That's a
The
shame.
horse was a bit fussy in some of the turns too, so I think that was what pushed that over the time.
Well, he's the steadiest of our 2-1 falters, so he heads into 4th place at this stage. That's a shame. Really nice round. So 19 combinations have gone so far. We sit on 2 clears, Alejandro Mills and Rodrigo Lambre. Patricio Pascual, that's our fastest on 1 time fault, 71.96. Then, of course, Alberto Sanchez Cozar just slipped into 4th, Arturo Navarro in 5th, and Nicolas Pizarro in 6th. So that's the top 6 at this stage. And out in the ring there, well, they're just doing some work on the surface, running the Harrows round, and then we'll be back to pick up the action once again in just a few moments. A total of 38 combinations advertised to start, 17 left to go, and we'll be back in just a moment or two.
Bueno, ya estamos listos para continuar con esta cuatro estrellas. Estamos esperando a José Alberto Martínez. José Alberto, por favor.
We're ready to restart this World Cup qualifier. Next, of course, will be José Alberto Martínez aboard Longines representing Mexico.
Ya lo tenemos en la pista de México. José Alberto Martínez Vázquez montando al Low.
Welcome back then. We pick up the action once again. If you have just joined us, we've got 2 clears. It is a jump-off competition. The fences we see out in front of us at 1.50 m in the height, and the prize money, well, this afternoon it sits at $35,000. We pick up the action once again with Alberto Sanchez Cozar and his 9-year-old gelding Union de la Natria.
Now, it's notable that after 19 rounds, 12 of them have had time faults. So, he did 9 there. He was efficient there. See, it is a big ring, so you have to choose to be efficient. You can't just gallop casually.
Yeah, there's a lot of space, a lot of ground to cover.
He rode 7 after that triple bar, and it worked out. But that is long inside that combination, and several horses have had B down, and then here has also been challenging to the last line. He rode quite well.
Yeah, nice way to start things off again.
Yes.
69.01, it's clear. We're told, in fact, that is Jose Alberto Martinez. And No Limit giving us our 3rd clear.
Oh, we had the wrong. Yes.
So we're up to 3 clears, a 2 on 1 time fault, and then we've got 3 on 4 faults as well. So that's how things look at this stage. But Patricio Pascual comes next, and this is a horse I really like. It's a 13-year-old by converter called Keres. And this is the one that has the mileage. This is the one that he's been all over the place on. He's off to a good start, but he looks a little bit steady around there.
He was sufficient there, but possibly too efficient. Almost had the triple bar down. That was lucky.
If this one gets through, I think it'll be one to keep an eye on in the jump off. Normally quick against the clock. One fence to come. Time's fine. Oh, yes, he's done it. He's through.
Wow.
70.20. Cracking horse, that one. Patricio Pascual and Keres, they will feature in that jump off
So
against
here's
the
our
clock.
4. So So
Was the round within the time for Mexico?
I predicted 4 to 5. You predicted 5 to 6.
Yeah, I think you're going to be wrong. Alberto Balales next. It's a 10-year-old stallion called Courage. Success at multiple shows here in Mexico. He's really produced this horse, you know, right up from the 135s into the 150 division. Seen him at the odd Grand Prix and stuff as well, picking up top 10 places. But yeah, nonetheless are Courage, Alberto Balales from Mexico.
See, now he did 10 there.
Do you think that's a sort of related distance that they would bother walking, or?
Well, that's the thing. I think that that's what one of the tests of this course is the track, that you, not just the track in between, you know, the obvious lines, but the track around and how you're going to ride. At least from this corner, you should know, like he took a very wide corner here. And then he added in the 7. Looked to me like he could have done 6, but hey, he's on the horse.
It's always easier sitting here. I always find that.
Yes, I've won quite a lot from here. Oh.
I think that's only about the second time that's come
Yes,
down.
and in a similar way. Just kind of jumped right at that top rail.
I don't know if it was intentional, but once it came down, you could see him just pushing on a little bit, thinking more about the time. And he is a little bit over, in fact.
Yes.
It's 72.12, 8 jumping, and 1 for time, total of 9.
One time for totaling 9, a time of 72.12 for Alberto Balales.
Jaime Azcárraga comes forward next then. 13-year-old gelding.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Come on then. Think this is going to go clear?
Yes.
Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, he's been doing so well.
He has his own style, but it works and the horses go well for him. And it's not just he's not had a one-horse wonder. I mean, he's been successful on several mounts.
Yeah, he competed a lot in Europe last summer. Had a win at 145 at the 3-star in Switzerland.
Ooh.
In fact, with this horse, he
Tight
had
for
a
him.
Grand Prix win at 2-star level. That was at San Miguel back in October.
Little rubs in there. This horse doesn't have much bit in either, really.
Let's see if your prediction is going to be right. Oh!
Man, that jumped out of the cups.
But it jumped back in. And he's in within the time as well. It's 69.67. And Clear, you were right.
But he was lucky, I have to say. Luck was on his side today with that coming into that combination on the last line.
So is that who your money's on in the jump off, is it?
I'm looking.
Representing Brazil, Rodrigo Labre aboard Scappino.
Lambre can be pretty fast, so it'll be interesting. It'll be a good jump off.
You're absolutely, definitely. This one is representing Brazil. It's Rodrigo Lambre now. Shapilot.
Already clean on one, right?
Yeah, he's already through with one of his earlier rides. That one that we couldn't decide what it was called. That's who he's through on. He was second here yesterday with this very horse, actually. 10-year-old by Shackle Blue.
Quite like this one. Might be one of the ones I want to buy.
Just going to be on the buy this horse list.
Oh yes, it floats over the jumps. Love that. Lovely. Now he seems to be potentially a little slow. Let's see.
He's going to be close to the time. No, he's going to be over, I think. Yes, he is.
He was a little slow.
71.99 is the time, so
Lovely
just
horse.
under a second. But you know, I mean, I think at this stage in the show, we're thinking about Saturday and qualifying for that one on Saturday. I don't think he'll be that bothered, to be honest.
Now, if I believe he can choose to ride any horse he wants on Saturday as when he qualifies. So
As long as he qualifies his spot.
it could be that he's going to go for the win on the first horse
first
and
horse.
ride this one on Saturday. That's a guess, but that would be a strategy.
Arturo Parada comes back. 13-year-old stallion, Constar. Some really good placings at 150 level. In fact, really good placings with several horses as well throughout Mexico and in the US.
It's interesting. Some of the riders' names I know quite well because they come and they show on the West Coast or they show at Spruce Meadows. However, this name, as an example, I don't know. But he's obviously able to get a lot of good mileage right here in Mexico.
I really think the sport is just going to keep growing and growing here in Mexico. What we need is a show in Cancun. If we could try and organise that.
Okay, let's work on that. Speaking of Mexican riders, Enrique Gonzalez just won at WEF.
71 at 27, just over. That's a shame. He slips down into 6th place. So he is actually the fastest of the time falters. Heads into 6th. Looking at the clears, Alejandro Mills, Rodrigo Lambre, Jose Martinez, Patricio Pascual, and Jaime Azcárraga. So that's the clears all heading through at this stage.
Again, I think on that rider's track from 1 to 2 may have been the place to save that time. Took its time from 1 to 2, and I just don't think you should, because then you're done after you've taken your time there.
Yeah, you want to make it up as early as possible, definitely.
Not a lot of places to make it up.
Mario Agnati, he's had some great horses over the years. This one's called Coleman. He's been on the circuit for a lot of years. And this is one that he's kind of campaigned here in Mexico over the latter half of last year. It's called Coleman. Mario Agnati making his approach from Mexico.
Again, shows to go at 10 strides from 1 to 2. Let's see how it pays off. It's interesting, I think, that Olaf planned so that it rides quite well if you ride it. You don't have to ride efficiently to get around. In other words, you can take your time and all the lines ride well. But if you take your time like that, then you pay on the clock.
Yeah, time definitely part of the test. It's amazing how the time allowed can change the questions on track as well. You know, if they've got an extra 4 strides before a really technical line, that does help them. So having
Definitely
that tight time allowed.
here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's already on time faults. But again, he might just be thinking a little sweetener and just something that might get him through into Saturday. So he's clear, but it's 3 for time. 79.52 there for Mario Ignati and Coleman.
A lot of these riders have the experience to make the time, so they're potentially making a conscious choice.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Different if they're 100th of a second or something over, but when you're kind of 2 or 3 seconds over, you know, they're definitely making that choice just to go steady.
And he will qualify for Saturday.
So it was a good plan then. This is Gustavo Ramos then. Gustavus, who was 4th in the 150 class here in Mexico. That was at the latter end of that last year, and that was with this horse as well. It's a horse called Izzy Maiki, 13-year-old by Casagrande. Cardento on the dam side.
It's not new to this level of competition with this horse.
He does quite a bit in North America as well.
Did a little Cortez move over that jump. Easy Madden's horse that likes to kind of cross his little front hooves. Yep.
Be over the time allowed as well.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh my! Oh, that was interesting. He seemed to have lost count there.
I'm sure that's what he's thinking as well. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Good thing is though, he's straight back up on his feet. Horse is having a good look around the arena. I think you were right, he just got there and he just didn't have the stride.
Looked like he was potentially trying to add there at the last minute. But that isn't an adding line. Yeah. Walks a little forward. Horse is still cruising around.
So while they try to catch the horse, let's just have a quick look at how things have been working out so far. Alejandro Mills is clear with Bartender. He's in very good company alongside Rodrigo Lambre, Jose Martinez, Patricio Pascual and Jaime Azcaraga, all heading through against the clock.
And since the break, we've had 3 of our, five?
5 clears,
clear.
yeah.
So.
And of course, they're going to be staying in the order as they went clear in the first round.
Which is why I think Jaime, if he wants to win, could, but right now I'm thinking about, although you did say that Patricio's horse can be quite fast.
Yeah, I think it could be. Jaime's always quite quick. Andres Diaz in the ring. He's sort of glancing over at the judges. It's never easy when something like that happens. You know, if the horse is galloping around and his horse has been in the ring with it, he's probably been walking around a bit longer than he would have liked to in his original plan.
The horse is exiting in hand. There's the bell. Here's the left lead approach.
Yeah, quite a few have been doing that. Oh, little tap.
Oh my. Horse has a nice jump. Seems to be wearing a snaffle. Full cheek. It's quite a big step as well.
Yeah, it is. So sitting on 8 faults at this stage.
It's quite lovely over the jump, though. Looks like a nice horse to ride. I might buy this one too. I'm gonna have quite a nice string.
You're going to have a great string.
Maybe I'll just stay here in Mexico, open a barn in Cancun.
Yeah, and you can run shows there. It'll be perfect. Second part of the double, and the final line comes down as well. It's 12 for jumping, 2 for time. 14 is the total there for Andres Diaz. 75-4-0. So we've still got a few left to come. I think around about 8 combinations still to feature.
Aha, it's the third brother.
The third brother.
That's his name, Gerardo.
Gerardo. Yeah, Gerardo Pascual coming next. Great name for a horse. This is called Mighty Mouse. It's an 11-year-old stallion. This is one that was produced in France originally. Then Gerardo started taking it out at the back end of 2015. I've seen Richard Spooner with this on a few occasions as well, actually.
Yeah, he rode the horses for them for a bit. That one and the big red horse. Oh no. He's gotten that out of the way.
That's kind of what you wanted to happen in the warm-up, though, not in here.
I don't know when he started riding, but I don't think he's been riding as long as his older brothers.
Really had to work down the distance there. Maybe a touch over the time.
Oh my gosh.
74-48.
First fence.
Ah,
He got that out of the way, and then
and again jumps really nicely down the final line. Finishes on 5 though, 74-48 there for Gerardo Pascual and Mighty Mouse. Doesn't take much.
and then the horse was bucked afterwards. I could have caused him a little time.
7 combinations left to go. Francisco Mendoza now, the 12-year-old's reward sign. Another one we saw at Spruce Meadows last summer with this. He really has been campaigning hard here in Mexico, all over the place.
First time that's come down. Second time. Says my able assistant.
looking ahead to Omaha, is this the second last qualifier that counts?
No, we have we still have one in Coachella to come. We have the Palm Beach Masters. Are we talking about just West Coast?
Yeah.
West Coast. We have, is Coachella the last?
Is Coachella up at the desert, is it?
Yes, it's now the Coachella Hits Desert Circuit.
Same venue though.
Rebranded, yes.
4 for jumping in a time fault, 74.96. Francisco Mendoza and reward sign. That'll still be good enough though to get him through. Antonio Maurer still got another horse to come forward. Antonio Chedraui will be back. Manuel Alvarez has got one. This is Juan Manuel though next.
And he actually won the World Cup jumping class in Valle de Bravo on this horse last year.
So he's back to defend then. Well,
back to qualify to defend.
Qualify to defend. Qualify for the qualifier. Yeah, it's a horse he knows inside out. Spy Staccato. It's called Stan. It's a great name for a horse. You think with the amount of shows now, it is a bit tougher to plan your schedule because there's stuff on every week, and you're thinking about points and stuff.
Well, you have to, you set your goals, and then you have to plan accordingly. But that's another reason it's nice that there's this event in Mexico for these riders and their goals.
Of course, there's the Global Champions Tour in Mexico now as well. The
And
Global
actually,
Champions
it leads the tour this year. It's the first event on the Global Champions Tour, and then Miami is to follow the next weekend. The two events in North America on that tour.
And of course, the Global Champions League as well, we hear in Mexico. And hot off the press, the FEI and GCL have now come to an agreement, so it's now a proper FEI class.
That's great. I did not know that. And
Well,
here we have another clean ride.
Really, really nice. 69.63. And it's clear for one, Manuel, Lazardo and Stan. So they head through. And of course, don't forget, they stay in the same order as we see them in the first round. So he'll be coming back in pole position at this stage.
Good partnership, those two.
Yeah, I read about it just before we came on to do this today, so I don't know all the details of the ins and the outs, but it has been settled, and I think that's fantastic news for the sport. Manuel Alvarez coming next in with Manolita Fortuna. It's by that famous stallion Manhattan. But not a bad start to his campaign yesterday, finishing 4th in the meter 45 division. He's
won a bit on this horse here in Mexico as well. At the FEI level, I should mention, because it's available now in Mexico. Oh my goodness.
Just wasn't really straight.
Maybe he was trying to be efficient and didn't quite work out for him. I'll have to watch that again to see. You do jump right into the shade on that one, but it doesn't seem to have been an issue. And that's no longer in the shadows.
Looks a little bit stiff through its head and neck, this one. As he comes round the turns, you can just see he can't really bend or flex it. But has the one down, finishes on the 4 fault. 66.74 was the time, so certainly no issue with the time there. Just has the one down.
Yeah, he actually, it's hard to tell from the angle, but he was way to the left on that oxer, and it looks like when the horse just
sort of locks its jaw a little bit. I
Yeah.
think. It's really wooden through its head and neck. We are getting down to the final few. Then we've got that really exciting jump off still to come. Ninlu Bay comes forward next. Another really experienced horse, an experienced athlete. Antonio Chedraui has the ride of this one.
I'm going to
By
make another
Nintendo.
prediction.
Is this another clear for the list, is it?
This is not clear.
And is this a horse you want to buy?
Well, I'll let you know in a few jumps.
Okay.
I've got quite a few in my string now, so
You have,
you have to
yeah.
really be impressive to get to add to that string. I like the ones that go in a snaffle. Now, in fairness, he rides quite well. I might need one that's, easy to ride.
Oh, okay. So he can keep this one, can he?
No, I like it, but
Yeah, he knows it so well. They've done a lot together. Such a great relationship.
it is bred well.
Mexico's breeding quite a lot of nice horses as well. Whoa! It's a shame just missed coming down to that upright. Hopefully we'll have I think that just kind of threw him after that, but we'll hopefully have another look at that one.
My prediction was wrong on that.
Was you're wrong. 8 faults, 70.84 there for Antonio Chedraui and Ninlu Bay. Yeah, I think that just really unsettled him, and probably why he had the second part of the double down in the final line.
This La Bamba horse I like quite a bit. Yes. Oh my.
And I'm sure that's what he said when he went over there. Oh my. Sure that's what came out his mouth. Right, we have just 3 combinations left. Antonio Maura with another one. Paola Amalibia as well. But first we're going to go to Manuel Senderos and Chaplin. It's an 11-year-old stallion, this one.
Paola would be our only female representative in the class, going last. Oh, goodness. That first fence.
I think if you have an early fence in a competition like this, they might just put a little bit more power in, try and push on a bit to get a faster time.
Oh my, jumped that well. This might want to be one of my buys.
Oh, okay.
Just, I'm a sucker for a really pretty jump. Oh.
You'll get it for a good price now outside the first fence now.
Yeah. Oh, another fence. Price just went down.
It's getting cheaper.
It's lovely.
Just been a little bit unlucky, I think. But we've still got another 2 days of competition to come, and makes a really nice shape.
I think even with, I could be wrong, but I think he might still qualify.
Might still get through.
He has 11.
11, yeah, 79.65.
He has a lot of time faults.
He did. He goes down to 29th at the minute with a couple to come, so I think he's kind of on the edge.
On the edge. for
Living on
sure.
the edge.
I was not thinking about the time faults.
2 left.
He jumped right at that first jump.
Yeah.
That was a little unlucky. That second rail. Just came up a little late. Look at that jump. Beautiful.
Well, heading to our second last to go now. Antonio Maura coming next. Galeo de Laubry had a great 5-star win at Spruce Meadows with this horse last summer. And he has produced so many horses and had so many placings all over Mexico.
I think Carl Cook has a horse by the same
Yeah, that's
stallion.
right. Yeah. Remember his name?
That was a hard trip. We're just kind of galloping over these jumps.
Making it look really easy
Yeah.
so far. Ah,
Oh my. And I had said that one hadn't come down and hadn't been a problem, and look what I did. Sorry.
it's a real shame. Really nicely down the
Yeah.
final line.
And just easy for this horse. I mean, potentially the shadow was the thing that played a role there.
68.86 and 4 faults there for Antonio Maura. That will be good enough to get him through to Saturday though, and I think he will be one to watch. He's got so much experience on the world stage. We'll find out what happens to him as the days continue here at Guadalajara.
We have some female power coming through.
Yeah, the only female. It's not often you see that, is it? Just one female rider. Lone representative. Paola Amalibia, our last to go. Notre Star, de la Matria by Quickstar. She's been competing all over the place. Spain, Mexico, Belgium, Great Britain, Denmark, Poland, France, Norway, the Netherlands, Canada, Ireland, Switzerland, Italy, Sweden and the USA as well. She's been a busy girl.
She also competed at the WAG in Normandy, 2014. Potentially with plans for Tryon,
Yeah.
2018.
So we've set her up now. Put the pressure on.
Yes, our only female representative.
Come on, girl power.
Let's go. Oh, too bad. Maybe she's just looking to qualify, so. She's had a rail.
Yeah, if she can stay on just the 4 and even have a time fault or 2, she'll still be in.
Should be fine all the time.
Yeah, she's been flying round. And again, made that final line look
Yeah.
really, really simple as well.
Yeah.
68.02, 4 faults, and
Good
we'll
ride.
see Paola Amalibia back on Saturday in the Longines FEI World Cup jumping of Guadalajara.
She might be the fastest four-vaulter. Just guessing.
It's probably quite a good guess. We can't see on our leaderboard down that far at the moment. We will in a second, I think. In fact, yeah, she goes into 13th, so she's not going to be far away, is she, from being the fastest 4, but she's through. That's the important thing. 38 combinations then is what came forward here in the first round, and we are going to take a total of 6 combinations back against the clock. And of course, don't forget, they will stay in the same order as we saw them in the first round. So that means Alejandro Mills will be getting us underway with Bartender, Rodrigo Lambre, Jose Alberto Martinez, Patricio Pascual, Jaime Ascaraga, and Juan Manuel Luxardo. Who's your money on?
Well, would like to see how it rides, but I am going to predict it's a win for. Let's see, Jaime. That's the only horse he rode.
No rush.
I know I'm thinking out loud here.
We've got ages.
I do think Rodrigo is a contender for the win based on the strategy we discussed earlier, where he has the other horse that he's going to ride, so he might go for it in this jump off, where the others may be a touch more conservative, thinking about Saturday, but
we'll find out.
I think Rodrigo and Jaime, and not to discount Juan Manuel Lizardo, so.
Do you know who I think is going to win?
Three. Who do you?
The fastest clear.
Oh,
it's always the fastest clear.
Very good prediction.
Well, you can see on screen they're just rolling through the results there, and those are the ones that sadly have missed out. Top 30, I believe, that is, that heads through to Saturday. And of course, that will be the Longines FEI World Cup jumping of Guadalajara. But it is our course designer Olaf Peterson and his team that have already sprung into action, and they are preparing a really good jump off track with lots of turns and lots of options. We're going to take a really short break, and then we'll be right back with our jump off here at Guadalajara.
Bien, jinetes, mientras esperamos el desempate, les recordamos que el día de mañana hubo cambio en el horario. Vamos a empezar en esta cancha a las 9 de la mañana en vez de a las 10. A las 9 vamos a dar inicio aquí con la de 1:35 y a la 1:30 empezará la de 1:40. También es importante que vayan a tramitar las guías sanitarias. Les recuerdo que sábado y domingo las oficinas no abren, así es de que guías sanitarias vayan a tramitarlas. Y por último, en el desempate, en el obstáculo 6 se convierte en triple barra. El número 6, que era triple barra, se convierte en Oxer en este desempate, únicamente para información. Y bien, ya estamos listos para dar inicio al desempate en la pista, representando a México, Alejandro Mills, que monta bartender.
And now we're ready to start this jump up.
Well, we're set and we are ready. It's going to be a really exciting jump off. 6 combinations coming through. They're all really, really quick against the clock.
So the jump off is starting on fence 4 from the original round, which is the Longines to the AUDI jump that then they turn around to fence 6, which was the triple bar, now an oxer, down to what is now an in and out and not the triple combination, and then they make a left-hand rollback turn to the orange. They jump the Longines oxer that was not in this round, in the first round. That was nicely done.
Yeah, off to a really good start. And this rollback, you can really go as tight as you like now, because with it only being an oxer, you don't need quite as much power. He's taking a little check down the distance there.
Yeah, no, he took his time there, not.
That came down. 3 efforts left.
So from this, they'll jump to this oxer that was not in the first round, and then they'll roll back to the vertical, jumping it the opposite way how they jumped in the first round.
So it's
on
turn
its way there now.
and gallop. So it's just one that comes down, finishes on the 4, 46, 31. Of course, they're all guaranteed, these 6, to be heading through to Saturday. The Longines FEI World Cup jumping here in Guadalajara. So it's all about the money, as Jessie J would say. $35,000 to play for here this afternoon.
Okay, let's see if Mr. Lambre is going to go for it here.
Yeah, he's standing by. And there he is, Rodrigo Lambre with Shaka Samia. Is that what we decided?
It's a Iyama at the end.
Shaka Siyama?
Maybe.
It's a very nice horse. It's a 10-year-old by Shaco Blue. Rodrigo Lambre representing Brazil.
I did not go for broke there.
Tough when there's only 6 and they jump off and you go quite early. Do you go for the clear that's economic, or go for broke?
Seems to be his plan. He's not going crazy. Trying to be the one to beat.
I think this horse is a bit deceptive though, because it really covers the ground.
It does. Wow, he cut that
Great
corner
round.
well.
Really,
Beautiful.
Really, really nice. 43.15. That's the standard then. That's what they've got to be. They've got to be clear and they've got to be faster than the 43.15.
I think it can be beat, but making the attempt to beat it will either be successful or it's a result in rails.
All about risk and reward.
Yes. But you're going to have to go for it to beat that.
4 combinations remain. Jose Alberto Martinez with no limit now. This one an 11-year-old.
He did make that look pretty easy.
Yeah, he did. Rodrigo's horse, a 10-year-old. This one 11. The next couple 13-year-olds.
Left lead there, actually. One place you could try to make it up here is less strides in this first line, so let's see if he goes there. Does that. Yes, he did one less.
Jumped nicely down there.
Yes, he did. I think he is a touch faster at this time.
$43.15 to beat. He's going to have to go. He has to gallop. Got to push on as we come in. What's he going to do? Let's have a look.
Oh,
so
wow.
Close. 1/10.
Wow. Very close.
1/10 of a second. 43.25 sends them down into second place.
I think he added up a little bit coming to the Longines oxer before he turned to the last jump.
So we're at the halfway stage. Couple of double clears. 3 left to go though. And you know, these horses and the riders that are in this second half of the jump off are all those that have, you know, real top international experience. Patricio Pascual, the first of those, 13-year-old gelding by converter, KRS. I think this could be the one to watch, you know.
I know you've said so from the beginning. Let's see if you're correct. He's coming from the right lead, which is an interesting choice. Easily 10. Could have done 9, maybe. Oh, too bad.
I was wrong then. All I said was he was going to be quick. Never said he was going to be clear.
You did say he was one to watch for watching.
Yeah, and he is one to watch. You can watch him go clear for the rest of the track now. I think perhaps having that, you know, those sort of two clears might just add a little bit of pressure on, I think. Time-wise, he wasn't far away, 44.93. Couple fall, though, and it's 8 faults there for Patricio Pascual and KRS.
I actually think he slowed down a little after the rails. I don't think he was going for it anymore. He was trying to go for the rest without rails.
You think we've seen our winner yet?
Well, Jaime was one of my contenders here, so let's see how he gallops down this first line. That'll tell us.
Well, he's about to be galloping down. It's Jaime Escarga and Anton from Mexico. $43.15 to beat.
Yep, there's the 9. Jumps that at an angle. Gets the 8 easily.
This is looking good neck and neck at the minute.
Ooh, lucky there. This is lucky day.
He's up on the clock, but he needs to keep pushing on. Is he going to be fast enough? Yes, I think he is. Yes, he is. 42.16. Brand new leader, Jaime Escarga, and Anton right up at the top. He'll be so happy with that.
Once he did that 9 in the first line, I knew that he was gonna angle to 6 was an interesting choice.
That was such a nice ride. I'm not quite so sure if it can be beaten, you know. I think that could be our winner. Let's find out, though. Juan Manuel, Luxardo, and Stan are last to go.
This was the third of my 3 choices, so
Okay.
I've been good so far. I predicted.
You have.
I predicted the top 2. See what he does on his first line, because I do believe that the choice they make there is going to be whether or not they're going for it.
Yeah, it gives you a good idea, doesn't it?
That was the 9 easily. Oh, there we go. We have a winner.
We have our winner. Well, Jaime Escarga travels a lot. I think it always means a little bit more having a good win at home turf. Yeah. I think they're based at Mexico City, are they?
I believe so, yes.
Because my geography's terrible, how far away is that from Guadalajara?
It's Guadalajara is a few hours. I think it's an hour plane ride from Mexico City to Guadalajara.
Well, there we go. 4 faults it is. 44.54 the time. So that goes into 4th place, and that's where it stays. As we say, huge congratulations there for Jaime Escarga and Anton who take the win here in this 1m50 competition. $35,000 will be divided between our top riders here, and of course it is the top 30 that qualify for that big one on Saturday, the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Guadalajara. Of course, we're back on YouTube tomorrow, FEI TV on Saturday as well. Turned into quite an exciting jump-off though.
Yes, it was a great jump-off. And I wanted to say that we will be back tomorrow on Friday at 1:30 Central Time for
There's the result on screen there. Jaime Escarraga takes the win with Anton Rodrigo Lambre and Shakimia in second. Jose Alberto Martinez and No Limits sit in third. Manuel Luxardo and Stan in fourth. There's Alejandro Mills finishing in fifth with Patricio Pascual sixth. So there's our top six. And there's some more of the riders, of course, who will feature on Saturday. But of course, more top sport to enjoy here over the weekend. We've got the young riders, the children as well.
Yes, they're going to go in their second round this afternoon, which is the jump-off round. And that will determine the order for their Saturday class, which is also going to be on FEI YouTube.
Yes, that's right, yeah. And they've got some real talented young riders here in Mexico.
And there's several countries, like 13 countries, as I said, represented here in that class. So it's quite a nice class to watch, to see how kids of that age are riding around the world. If we will continue to update on the Facebook page, so if you go to Facebook, it's Triple Copa Scappino, which is the name of this event.
That'll be easy to remember.
Triple Copa Scappino. Can I say it again?
How do you spell that?
Triple Triple Copa COPA Scappino SCAPPINO.
Ah, very good. Very, very good. Well, we can see out in the arena there, they're dragging, they're moving a few fences, and they're also bringing in those iconic Longines FEI World Cup jumping standards. And that's because we're getting ready to welcome forward our top six in for presentation. And of course, that full party out there waiting to join them, including members of the Equestrian Committee of the Guadalajara Country Club, Miguel Madero, Salomon Shidan, and Christian Rocks as well, all out there.
Longines, of course, has been a tremendous sponsor of this league, and as well as other show jumping leagues, including the Global Champions Tour. But the North American League, in its second year, has been an impressive movement to create top sport throughout North America.
Do you think it's changed the sport in North America at all?
I think it is changing the sport in North America. I think for certain these shows have stepped up to meet the quality that is required to have a World Cup qualifier, and I don't know that that was the case as much in the past. So I do believe that has really stepped up the quality, and also it has created a lot of top quality events in North America that, again, may not have been available at that quality level previously, and that's important because, as we were saying earlier, in Mexico, how the number of FEI events have increased. Just having increased the number of FEI events in North America with the NAL is important to note, as it's not a requirement to go to Europe to get world ranking points, as well as the kind of experience that was in the past required to jump at the international level. Not to say that the riders still don't head to Europe for various competitions, including the Global Champions Tour, but this year the World Cup Finals, the Longines FEI World Cup Finals, are here in the States in Omaha, and as well the FEI World Equestrian Games are going to be hosted here in the States in 2018 in Tryon.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Really exciting time for the US. And of course, they've also got changes with Murray Kessler taking over as well.
Yes.
So big changes happening.
Murray Kessler is now president of the U.S. Equestrian is their new name. They are still the United States Equestrian Federation, but U.S. Equestrian is their part of their bigger vision to bring the joy of horse sports to everyone.
Yeah, they've got a great campaign going on at the moment.
Very good.
And I saw a sort of video on the front page of their website that Murray Kessler's done. He said, you know, in the past people have joined USEF as it used to be because they had to, and he wants them to join because they want to. And I think that's such a great, you know, sort of theory, and I think it is going to be good.
Yes, the vision that he's bringing, as well as several others, are going to empower not only the internally for within the federation, but I think that the competitors will feel more a part of a sport that's exciting, as well as fans. They're really looking to build that fan base through a fan membership, and they've built up quite a few things. First of all, they've redone the website, but they also have a learning center now,
right.
And they have videos from all different disciplines, and they are videos that are instructive. They're also they talk about different aspects of the sport, and all you need is that fan membership to not only see the videos, but several other benefits that they've added. And a fan membership is quite reasonable, and I think that it's a great move, because we really look to build in all of North America that excitement. And I will say that last year at the Global Champions Tour here in Mexico City was quite impressive. The crowds, it was packed. They had they had 3 sides of VIP, but they also had an entire side of spectators that was packed to the fence line. Like, the people were standing at the fence watching and cheering. Mexico is well known for their cheering on of their competitors. Very passionate audience.
Well, we can see coming forward there our top 6. Led in by one of our stewards. And what a fantastic jump off we were treated to here this afternoon.
It's like we've got a Bay Brigade, with the exception of Bartender, one of my string.
One of your string, yeah.
Yes.
We can see our presentation party out there. Of course, this presentation quite similar to the one we'll see here of the Longines FEI World Cup jumping Guadalajara on Saturday. And it's the same prize-giving ceremony you'll see, and that happens at all the events. They're just trying to line
If the
up.
horses cooperate, that's right, yeah. That's always the catch in the prize-giving ceremony, if the horse wants to be.
They've got some
part
huge
of it.
sponsors, and they all want a chance to meet the riders, and for that to happen safely, they've got to stand in a straight line.
And stand.
And stand still, yeah. Someone forgot to tell the horses.
Yes. Well, there's
Primer lugar, first place of this Longines World Cup qualifier, Mexico, Jaime Azcárraga.
So Jaime Azcárraga stepping forward then. And of course, who's not only a top athlete, also a very proud dad, with his son competing at a good level now as well internationally.
It's interesting, as a side note,
Vamos a pedirles al público
the
presente.
petting of the horse,
ponerse de pie
when
para
they pet
escuchar
with a
el
tap
himno
like that, and
That's quite
as
smart.
opposed to a rub
ganador.
or a gentle tap,
Ganador México.
the horse reacts differently.
Bryce
Here we are seeing
plays the
Bartender do his thing,
Well, they're going to,
just for me.
just for you, playing the national anthem, of course, the national anthem of our winning nation, Mexico, and Jaime Azcárraga taking the win in the lion's share of the $35,000.
Anton's not. Maybe Anton wants to dance.
Yes. He's dancing. He's a dancing horse.
Look at that. He's turning the other leg. See, and he's dancing to the rhythm of the pat on his neck. Yeah. There you go.
Glad
Well
the
done.
anthem wasn't longer. It might have a very big hole.
Now representing Longines.
Well, Jaime Escarraga then, he's crowned our winner here in this 1 meter 50 competition at the CSI 4-star Guadalajara with Anton. It is a great lineup as our presentation party come forwards to congratulate the winner there. That's with Sobrando taking forward our representatives of Longines, I believe, to present that trophy. As we said before, you know, he's had wins at Spruce Meadows, he's had wins all over the world, but having a win on home soil always means that little bit more. And the horse seems to certainly be enjoying it. Just hope he doesn't get down and roll.
There's the president of the Federation.
Is that the one that was
Mexican
dancing?
Federation, yes.
Yes.
He's dancing with Anton.
Federation. And Miguel Madero, member of the Guadalajara Country Club Equestrian Committee.
Also down there, of course, the committee that are part of putting on this event, this wonderful facility. It's got the golf course, it's got
Beautiful.
football pitches.
It's
And
got,
my favourite part, it's got the sunshine.
yes, and it's got tennis courts and a beautiful country club with a restaurant and a cafe, and the event has brought in not only this, you know, the VIP setting here, but there's some lovely sculptures that are not to be missed. We feature them on Facebook.
Ah, there we go.
If you would
Little
like
plug.
to look at Copa Scappino on Facebook.
We'll be straight on there. As soon as we're finished, I'll be on there.
Yes. Well, you can go see them live.
I'll go and see them live.
Alejandro Aceves and Rodrigo Gomez.
We have some replay. I think that is Rodrigo, yes?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
He did set the bar,
It's a real quality field in the jump off.
yes. And I think it'll be a great class on Saturday. I
Oh,
think it'll be a
absolutely.
tough course. It'll be more, my prediction is it will be require a touch more scope, because if I assume that Olaf and Lima were watching today, and a lot of the horses have plenty of scope,
Yeah.
and it will be more technically challenging.
Representing Brazil, Rodrigo Lambre and Chassian.
So they're heading down the lineup there. And just to confirm that result, Rodrigo Lambre, he takes second place for Brazil.
Fourth place for Mexico.
It is Jose Alberto Martinez taking third for Mexico. Juan Manuel Luxardo for Uruguay finishing in fourth. Alejandro Mills and Bartender, the one you like, finishing in fifth for Mexico. And Patricio Pascual and
The one you
Queiroz.
like.
Yes, finishing in sixth.
Fifth place for Mexico, Alejandro Mills aboard Bartender.
As I mentioned at the beginning, you know, all these sponsors, they all want to see the
And
athletes.
sixth place.
I think
for
that's
Mexico,
important as well.
Patricio Pasquel.
It is. And there's quite a list of good sponsors here, along with Longines. And following this, they'll be setting for the second round of the FEI Children's International Classic Final. And we had 32 starters in that yesterday, representing the 13 countries.
Thank you very much to all the people.
And they ride borrowed horses, don't they?
They do.
This
They
award
draw for
ceremony,
horses.
and we
And
ask Jaime
some
Escarraga
kids were lucky to
and
have picked a
Anton
horse
to
that they
lead
knew
the
or
victory
that they
gallop.
own, but most of them are riding on horses that they've had a training session and a warm up. That's the extent of their relationship outside of the competition.
Well, we can see out there in the arena, lap of honour, the victory gallop, well underway. And Jaime Escarraga crowned our winner. He continues celebrating, I'd imagine, into this evening with Anton there. But he's one that really is liked
Yes.
by much of the fan base and the
Jaime
VIPs here this
Escarraga,
afternoon.
Rodrigo Lambre,
He's been a great ambassador for Mexican show jumping.
Juan Manuel Luzardo, Alejandro Mix, Patricio Pasquel.
And a huge thank you and a huge well done to each and every one of them.
Yes.
Great field, great jumping, great sport, and lots more to come throughout the weekend. When are we back on YouTube? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are back for the, it's 1 o'clock Central Time.
Are we in Central Time at the moment?
We are.
We are, okay. There'll be another chance to see some of the very best from Mexico, North America, and a few other nations as well coming forward to compete. And it's another jump-off competition.